Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Peshawar Public School and College, Chemistry Grade 12. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to all students of class 2nd year in these online classes. In our first lecture, we are going to discuss about chapter number 13, S and P block elements from the textbook of Chemistry Grade 12. So first of all, we will discuss about different blocks of the periodic table. When we look at the left side of the periodic table, S block is given, which consists of group 1A and group 2A. Group 1A elements are also called alkali metals because when they are dissolved in water, they give alkalis. In the same way, group 2A elements are also called alkaline earth metals. They also give alkalis with water, but they are mostly present in the earth crust. When we look at the right side, all elements of the S block are metals except hydrogen, which is a non-metal. When we look at the right side of the periodic table, P block is present, which consists of 6 groups from 3A to 8A. P block consists of metals, non-metals and metalloids. In the center, D block is present, which consists of transition elements, while at the bottom, F block is present, which consists of lanthanides and actinides. Now the general electronic configuration of S block, which is given below S block on the left side, NS122, while small n show that the number of shells or the number of periods. S show the number of groups, and the number 1 to 2, which is given on the top of the S, it shows the number of electrons. Now when we look at the electronic configuration of P block, which is given below P block, NP1 to 6. In the same way, N show the number of shells or period number, P show the number of subshell or group number, and 1 to 6 show the number of electrons. It means P can accommodate maximum number of electrons, which is 6, while the S can accommodate maximum number of electrons, which is 2. Now we will discuss about the physical and atomic properties of period 3 elements, which are given below: electronic configuration, atomic radius, ionization energy, electronegativity, electrical conductivity, and melting and boiling point. So first we will discuss about the electronic configuration of period 3. Period 3 elements consists of sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, and argon. When we look at the electronic configuration of these elements, neon is given in front of each element, which is given for simplicity. Like when we write the electronic configuration of all these elements, so the electronic configuration of all these elements up to electron number 10 is similar to neon. After neon, they have given 3s1 in case of sodium. So 3 shows the number of shell or period number, and S show group number, and 1 show the number of valence electrons. It means sodium is present in third period and in group 1A. So it is an alkali metal. In the same way, magnesium belongs to second A group and third period. So the first 2 elements of the third period, sodium and magnesium, they belongs to S block, while the remaining 6 elements, they belongs to P block. For learning of these elements, there is given a sentence on the left side of these elements: Na mang alsi PlayStation kal ana. For more understanding of this topic, you can consult this link, period 3 elements, Sabak Foundation. Property number 2, atomic radius. So atomic radius can be defined as the distance between the nucleus and the outermost valence shell, or it can also be defined as half of the distance between the nuclei of 2 similar bonded atoms. The unit of atomic radius is angstrom. It can be measured by the different techniques like NMR spectroscopy, X-ray diffraction analysis, electron diffraction analysis. Now trend in atomic radius. When we go from left to right in third period, atomic radius decreases from sodium to chlorine, and then after chlorine, the atomic radius of argon is large as compared to other elements. This is an irregularity. The reason behind this is that, like atomic radii, we can classify it into the following types depend upon the type of bond or the type of forces. Like the first three elements, sodium, magnesium and aluminium, they form metallic bonds, so their radii is called metallic radii. While the other elements, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur and chlorine, they form covalent bonds, so their radii is called covalent radii. While the argon involve van der Waals forces of attraction, which are very weak forces. You already know from your first year course. These are short range forces. In argon, there is no true chemical bond. So the radii of the argon is called van der Waals radii. The size of the argon is large, atomic radius of the argon is large as compared to the other elements due to this reason, because argon involve very weak forces which are van der Waals forces, due to which its structure is large, its size is large as compared to the other elements of this period. Atomic radius may be of two types on the basis of number of electron lost or gain. It may be cationic radii or it may be anionic radii. This is a conceptual work for your ETA test. Like most of the time, this question appear in ETA test, that which one is greater, atomic radius or cationic radius. Cationic radius is less than atomic radius. Due to this reason, because when an atom loses electron, a positive charge appear on that atom. That positive charge act like a proton and it will attract the electrons more toward itself, due to which contraction in size of the atom occur, of the ion occur. So cationic radius is smaller as compared to atomic radius. In the same way, anionic radius is larger than atomic radius. The reason behind this is that, like when an atom gain electron, it will form a negatively charged ion which is called anion. So that negative charge which act like an electron, there will be repulsion between these electrons. As a result, expansion in size occur. So anionic radii, it will be larger than atomic radii. In the same way, we can also learn from this that the anionic radii will also be larger from the cationic radii. It is given on page factors affecting ionization energy. Now property number 3, ionization energy. Ionization energy can be defined as the amount of energy required to remove an electron from the outermost shell of an isolated gaseous atom to form monopositive ion. Ionization energy may be first ionization energy or second ionization energy. So first ionization energy is that amount of energy which is required for the removal of first electron from the outermost shell of an isolated gaseous atom. Second ionization energy is that amount of energy which is required for the removal of second electron from the outermost shell of an isolated gaseous monopositive ion. Mostly, you know from your previous courses that second ionization energy is larger than first ionization energy. The reason of this is, like when we remove an electron from the outermost shell of the atom, a positive charge appear on that atom, which attract the electrons now more tightly toward itself, due to which the removal of second electron becomes difficult. So more energy is required for the removal of second electron. So that's why second ionization is larger than first ionization energy. Now trend in ionization energy, when we go from left to right in third period, ionization energy increases, but there are some irregularities in case of magnesium and aluminium and phosphorus and sulfur. So, like when we look at the diagram on page number 4, in case of aluminium, the ionization energy decreases or is less than from magnesium. So when we write the electronic configuration of aluminium and magnesium, the outermost subshell of magnesium is S, while in case of aluminium, the outermost shell is P. It means that the outermost electron is present in the P subshell of aluminium, while the outermost electron is present in the S subshell of magnesium. As you know from your first year course that S block is nearer to the nucleus as compared to P block. So the removal of electron from the P subshell or subshell. So the removal of electron from the P subshell in case of aluminium is easier as compared to the removal of electron from the S subshell in case of magnesium. So less will be the ionization of energy of aluminium as compared to magnesium. Now when we look at another irregularity in case of phosphorus and sulfur, so the ionization energy of sulfur is given, which is given is less than the ionization energy of phosphorus. When we write the electronic configuration of phosphorus and sulfur, in case of phosphorus, all the p electrons, they are unpaired, while in case of sulfur, 2 of the p electrons, they are unpaired, but 1 of the 3 px electrons, they are paired. So the paired electrons will repel each other, and it is easier to remove the electron from the paired electrons as compared to from the unpaired electrons. Like in case of sulfur, the removal of electrons, one of the electron from the paired electron is easier as compared to the removal of electron from the any one of the electron from the phosphorus. Factors affecting ionization energy. Number 1, charge on the nucleus, which is also called nuclear charge. Second, distance between the nucleus and the outer electrons. Third, shielding effect. Fourth, electronic configuration. So the first one, charge on the nucleus. As we go from left to right in third period, one of the electron is added to the outermost shell of each element in each successive group. So the positive charge also increases. One of the proton is also added, and the positive charge also increases on the nucleus, which attracts the electron more tightly toward itself, and the removal of electron becomes difficult when we go from left to right. So the ionization energy increases from left to right. Now one thing which I will explain, most of the students, they are get confused in the term nuclear charge. Nuclear charge means the number of electrons or atomic number. So there is a direct relation between the charge on the nucleus and ionization energy. Factor number 2, distance between nucleus and outer electrons. As we know from the previous, as we have previously discussed, that S orbital, it is S subshell is near to the nucleus as compared to P, and P is near to the nucleus as compared to D, and D is near to the nucleus as compared to F. So as the removal of electron from the P subshell is difficult as compared to D, and the removal of electrons from D is difficult as compared to F. Like in previous example, we have discussed that the removal of electrons from the P subshell is easier as compared to S subshell. In case of magnesium and aluminium, the electrons from the outermost subshell of aluminium, which is P, is easier as compared to magnesium, in which the outer electrons are present in the S subshell. So as the distance between the nucleus and the outer electron increases, the less energy will be required for the removal of electrons, and we can say ionization energy will decreases. Factor number 3, shielding effect. Shielding effect is also called screening effect. It has a direct relation with the number of shells between the nucleus and the outermost shells. As the number of shells between the nucleus and the outermost shell increases, it acts like a shield, and there is the bound of the nucleus on the outermost shell electron will decreases, so the removal of electrons from the outermost shell will be easier and less energy will be required for the removal of that electron. So as the shielding effect increases, the ionization energy decreases. There is an inverse relation between shielding effect and ionization energy. Factor number 4, electronic configuration. As we know from the Hund's rule from our first year course, that half filled and completely filled orbitals are most stable, and higher will be the ionization energy of such atoms which have half filled and completely filled orbitals. Like given in the example of phosphorus and sulfur, in case of phosphorus, the removal of electron is difficult is compared to sulfur, because sulfur has paired electrons, so there will be a repulsion between the paired electrons. It means in the end we can say that the removal of electrons from the completely filled is easier as compared to half filled orbital. For more understanding, you can consult your unique book, as well as you can also consult the link Properties of Period 3 Elements, lecture number 2, Topmost World. Now, previously, as we have discussed about our conceptual work about atomic radius, anionic radius and cationic radius is also given on this page. Electronegativity, property number 4. It can be defined as the ability of an atom to attract the shared pair of electron toward itself in a covalent bond. Electronegativity can be measured in terms of electron volt or kilojoule per mole. Trend in electronegativity. When we go from left to right in third period, electronegativity value increases from sodium to chlorine, which is given below each elements on page number 5 of the textbook. Actually, the reason behind this is that, like when we move from one element to the next across the period, the nuclear charge increases by 1 unit and 1 electron is added to the outermost shell of each element. So the positive charge on the nucleus also increases, and now the atom has greater electron attracting power, and as a result electronegativity increases, while in case of argon electronegativity value is not given. Due to this reason, because when we write the electronic configuration of argon, the S and P subshell of argon are completely filled, so argon is inert toward covalent bonding. So property number 5, electrical conductivity. It can be defined as the measure of substance to conduct electric current. For the passage of electric current, electrons and ions are required. When we look at the trend in electrical conductivity, so the first 3 elements of the period 3 like sodium, magnesium and aluminium, they are good conductors of electricity because they all are metals and they have loosely bound electrons or mobile electrons, as we know from electron C theory. Silicon is a semiconductor which sometimes conduct and sometimes do not conduct electric current. While the rest of elements from phosphorus to argon, they are non-conductors because they are non-metals and they do not have mobile or free electrons. Now property number 6, melting and boiling point. So first we will define them. Melting point can be defined as the temperature at which the solid changes into liquid state, and the boiling point can be defined as the temperature at which the liquid changes into gaseous state, or that temperature at which the vapor pressure of a liquid become equal to atmospheric pressure. Now trend in melting and boiling point. When we go in third period from left to right, in case of sodium to aluminium, the melting and boiling point increases because these all three, they are metals and the strength of the metallic bond increases when we go from sodium to aluminium. Silicon, in case of silicon, the boiling point and melting point is also greater because silicon form large and giant structures. When we look at the other elements like phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, and argon, they have van der Waals forces. They exist in the form of molecules. Phosphorus exists in the form of P4, sulfur exists in the form of S8, and chlorine exists in the form of Cl2, while argon exists in the monoatomic form. The one strength of van der Waals forces depend upon the size of these molecules. These all are non-polar molecules. Like in among these all, sulfur has highest melting and boiling point because the size of the sulfur molecule is larger as compared to the other molecules. Sulfur exists in the form of S8 molecule, so it has greater strength of van der Waals forces as compared to the other elements. Dear students, homework page is provided to you in the last. So the first question is describe the atomic and physical properties of elements of period 3. This is from your chapter, and in most of the papers this question will appear. Now question number 2 and 3, they are from exercise. So you all solve these questions in the form of assignment, and this part of course it will be included in your detention exams. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.